Hi, welcome, welcome. Hi, Sophie. Welcome to my live. This is for people looking for roles in the NHS and trying to understand what the scoring criteria is for when you're being scored during your interview. So it's really straightforward, really, in a sense. So just trying to just educate people about the scoring criteria for the NHS. Yeah, welcome, welcome. Hi, Lydia. My screen is I need to charge my phone. So my screen is on the side, so I might be bending my neck to look at the what's it called? The chats. Yeah. So thank you so much for everyone for joining. Thanks for joining. I'm streaming on two platforms. So I'm streaming on TikTok. I'm also streaming on YouTube at the same time. So yeah, welcome to the live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome. Please stay. Hi, leader. Are you looking for a role in the NHS? I know this is not the best, and I'm going to try and see if I can twist it a bit. Um, let me see if I can twist this. Hi, welcome. Okay. Hi, welcome everybody. Hi, Swazi. Welcome. This live is for people looking for jobs in the NHS. So if you're looking for your role in the NHS, yeah, this is the live for you. This is the live that you want to be at. Welcome, welcome, Kristen. Welcome. Yes, yes. Your call is done. Okay, I'm coming. Thank you. Welcome to my live. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome. If you want to get your job in the NHS, this is the place for you to be. Welcome. So as I said, I'm streaming on two platforms at the moment. I'm streaming on TikTok. I'm also streaming on YouTube at the moment. So yeah, where am I? Content. Yeah, so if you want to know more about the NHS and what managers are actually doing when they're scoring you in the NHS, this is where you want to be. So yeah. If you want to see anything, welcome to this live session. It's just going to be really quick live because I did promise I'm going to try and come on live at least once a week, or more than once a week, really, to try and see how I can help people with their job applications. Oh my goodness, this is not working out. I need to try and turn because I'm using one of my tripods. I'm trying to turn it to, um, yeah. Okay, so it's not going to be straight because I'm charging my phone. I think this is the best I can do for now. Sorry about that, guys. I don't look straight, but yeah. But welcome. Do you have any questions about the scoring criteria for the NHS? Please like the live, share with your friends, say hello to me. Hi, Frank. Hi, Honey. Hi, Kenny. Hi, Queen Sheila. Hi, everybody. Hi, Amanda. Have I missed anybody? As always, yeah. So yeah, please like the live, share with your friends, and welcome in. Yeah, if you keep tapping on the heart, it does tell TikTok to share the live to more people so more people can see. So if you have any questions, this is just going to be a really quick live. It's going to be a really quick live session with regards to trying to understand the scoring criteria for when you're applying for jobs. I think I came on live last on Saturday, and it was a very interactive session for people that wanted to get their jobs or people that were looking for jobs in the NHS and wanted to understand what the criteria is in terms of the scoring criteria. And we went through the scoring criteria from 0 to 5. All NHS organization, we use the same scoring criteria for them. So from band twos to band nines, or whatever band will, if even if it's the execs that we interview, I've only interviewed for one exec, and I've been part of the panel for. So if is something that you were interested in, please stay on here because we use the same scoring criteria for every band, but depending on the what they're expecting or depending on what is expected of that band will determine how intense or how each score is given. So there are six scores, I would say, not five. There are six scores because you can actually get a zero as part of your score if you're not answering the question properly. So if you want to hear more about those scoring criteria, please stick around and we'll go through each one of them from zero to five. So if you're here, please tap on the hearts and share the live with people that you feel would benefit from knowing what you are actually doing wrong or what is actually preventing you from being the one that being picked during that interview or after the interview. What are you saying? How are you answering your questions and all that? So I think we might go through some questions. I think on Saturday we went through star questions of what would differentiate you from getting a 3 and from you getting a 5. So we can do something like that today again if you're interested in kind of like sample answers that would differentiate you when you're in the interview from what getting a 3. A 3 is not a bad score, depending on the kind of people that you were interviewing with that day. A 3, it truthfully is not a bad score, but a 3, I would prefer for you to be on a 4. Fours and fives would be the ideal scores for you to be able to get that role. A 3, yes, you can get a job based on a 3, but with the 3, it's not what's it called? It's not always that you would get that job, depending on how many people interviewed that day, depending on God, look at my week. Depending on how many people interviewed that day, and depending on what they're actually looking for, how desperate are they? Because with a 3, you can actually that means you're actually able to do the job. You actually fit the criteria. So yeah. So we'll be looking at what the scoring criteria is. I have the scoring system here. So yeah, so we can go through that scoring criteria together if you're interested in that scoring criteria. Yes. I think I have someone that joined me on my last live. Who is this? Yud Mesel, did you join me on Saturday, Yud Mesel? For some reason, I feel as if I've seen your face before. Yeah, thanks for joining, everybody. So we were going to be going through the live. So we're going to be going through the scoring criteria. I'm going to have to switch. I'm going to see. I'm going to switch my camera to look at my laptop so you can see the scoring criteria for the NHS. This is the interview scoring criteria that we use normally. So yeah, I'm going to try and see if I can switch my camera because I'm really bad with all this navigating TikTok and all that. Let me see if I can switch my camera. Okay, just bear with me. Oh yeah, I'm charging my phone as well. What's this? Oh, pin and notice. Now I know where to pin and notice. Oh, so if you want to contact with me, you can pin an interactive notice in a live chat for 30 seconds every 3 minutes. Oh, so you can't even stay up forever. I did not know that. Okay. I'm trying to do something. Try to pin it because you guys always tend to ask about guys always tend to ask about my email address, and I'm trying to see how I can give you guys that pin. Let me see pin. I don't know what's wrong with my screen. It's not letting me do anything. Oh, Lord. And I need to flip the camera around as well. You can send me a direct message. No, I don't know. Anyways, enhance effects, sound effects, voice effects. Yeah. Okay, let's try and do this. If you want to contact me, oh Lord, let this just go away. Then I'll try and see if I can turn the camera around so you guys can see what the scoring criteria looks like. What's this? quick invites. Nope. That's to add people. Flip camera. Yes. Okay, we've gotten there. So this is what the scoring criteria looks like for every NHS job interview that we sit on the panel. So the panel are given this paper alongside the question paper as well. So this one will probably be pinned at the back because we kind of staple it together with each of the interviewing scoring sheets. So this scoring interview scoring system information is pinned to the back of each of the scoring systems. So because each person has their own paper where we write in, I think on one of my previous lives I've shown what the paper is and how we write and what we write in them. If you want me to show you that again, I can try and look for it on here and show you what it looks like. So there are, like I said, 6 different scores. Hi, Blessing. Oh, it's been a long time I've spoken or seen you. I've been MIA for a bit. So each criteria is based from 0 to 5. So that's how each person is scored during that interview. So for you to get a 0, what it means is that no relevant evidence has been provided. Thanks for the hearts, everybody. No relevant evidence have been provided by you during that interview. So when they've asked you A, you've given them the answer for Z. So they've probably said, "What is your name?" You've told them how you went out yesterday and didn't come back until 12 midnight. That is what you getting a 0 is. And I know I keep saying this every time that I've been on an interview panel where we've given someone zeros and only gave the person 1, and that one was just for attendance. That one was just for attendance. Trust me. It's it's possible for you to get 0 in your interview. Trust me. So the next score that you can possibly get is 1, which means that much less than acceptable. That means significantly below criteria for a successful job performance. No or sparse evidence given of competencies or evidence does not support assertions or ability with any details of experience. So when you've given them their answer, you've just given them basic answer. You've probably given them like a line. They've asked you, tell us about yourself. And you've just said, oh, my name is Temi and I live at this place and I'm very interested in the role. That's what you've given. You've not given them any evidence to show that what's it called, that you're interested and even wanting to answer the question. One of the things I always say to people that use my services or people that I coach for interviews is that always remember the STAR answer. That's the situation, the task, the actions, and the results. And I'll tell them to always add something else as your reflection as well. Always reflect on what has happened very much. It's very important for you to reflect on what has happened. So always ensure that when you're answering your questions during your interview, you're using that STAR method. If you have the STAR method at the back of your mind, it would help you in structuring your answers properly. I said on Saturday that I have a new video coming out in my channel. I think I'm going to have to push it back another week now because I've done loads of recordings of videos and I'm just trying to push them out as much as possible, but still kind of space them out. But I'm going to do, I've done a video about this interview scoring system where I've explained what the scoring, maybe is actually coming out. I don't even know which ones I've actually scheduled. Thanks, Blessing. I don't know which one I've actually scheduled to be coming out soon, but sorry, my hair is going into my mouth. But I've done a video on this interview scoring system and explained it properly and given examples with star answers and questions and all that. So that video will be coming out soon on my YouTube channel. So do well to go and follow me on YouTube as well and watch that video once it comes out. But there are loads of other videos on my channel from band 2 to band 6, interview questions and answers, real life interview questions and answers. I did say to you that I regularly sit on interview panels. I try and sit on interview panels once a week. I was meant to be sitting on one tomorrow, but I think one of the managers is not feeling well, so we might have to cancel that one. So I need to just check my emails tomorrow morning to find out. And the recruiting officers will probably let me know. But I try to sit on one interview panel at least once a month. Next week, I'm sitting on a band eight. Is it 8B? 8B interview panel. So I'm sitting on that panel with the regional manager and the director of the service and myself. So we'll be three of us sitting on that panel. So that's how intense or how high I sit on different panels for. So this is a band 8B role. So that's another one I'm seeing, and it's for the head of healthcare. Is like a head of a department role. So yes, so that's how much I sit on interview panels, and I use the scoring tech and I use the scoring system to mark and score people during their interview. You might say that, oh, tell me you're in HR and you don't really know much about the technicality of the role. That's why I have those two other people with me on the panel to explain to me what they're actually looking for, what are the things that they need to hear. And some of these answers are actually really common sense and logical answers that they would ask you, or they will ask you, how did you take care of a patient? What do you do in an emergency? I already have, before we go into the interview, they would have spoken to me about, oh, I think I should flip this around actually. Oh no, let me flip this around so you guys can see my face. Flip camera. Okay, so we're back. So when I sit on panels in at work, sorry, I'm trying to set this thing properly. When I sit on panels at work, I try to we always make sure we always have like a pre-meet. Sometimes the day before, we've already had the pre-meet for the interview that we're meant to be sitting on tomorrow. We already had the pre-meet on Tuesday. That was yesterday actually. We had the pre-meet yesterday, but the manager called or messaged this morning to say, oh, he's not feeling well. He's not sure he's going to be able to come for the interview tomorrow. But we'll see he said he will let us know by this evening. So I'm checking my emails. My emails are connected to my phone. So I'm checking my emails tonight to see if he's going to be coming into work tomorrow. So then we'll know if the interview is going to go ahead tomorrow. So yeah, interview panels, I love doing them. My interview panel for next week, I'm canceling one of my team meetings to actually go on that interview, because I think interviewing people and bringing the right caliber of people into our trust is very important to me. And we've seen, especially with my role as well, not just doing recruitment, I also do employee relations as well. The amount of employee relation cases I'm having to go through, grievances, bullying and harassment, all those things are the cause of you not having the right caliber of people in that team or in that trust. When we don't have the right kind of caliber of people in the trust, it then brings up all these employee relations issues, capability, where I'm in one area, I'm having to put, how many people are going to be going on capability? About 3 people from one team are going on capability, and that's quite major for us in our organization. I think I've told a story here about a nurse, a band 6 nurse, that doesn't know how to take blood pressure. I don't know if I've said it here before. That nurse could not take a blood pressure, cannot take a manual blood pressure, could not take a what's it called, the one that you have to use the cuff and all that. Didn't even understand that you need to take out the fleece or take out the jumpers of the person or take out the cloth, heavy cloth that the person is wearing, to be able to take the blood pressure properly. So yeah, so having the right caliber of people in that trust is very important to me, and I do think that that's an amazing role to have. So yeah, so where were we? I think we were number one. We're number one in terms of the scoring criteria. Oh no, sorry, we're number two. So that's for you to get it to. So back to the scoring criteria. Let me just check to make sure that no one has sent any messages that I've missed, which I tend to do it. Good evening, Blessing. Hi. Oh, thank you, dear Marcel. Thank you. Oh, it probably wasn't you then. It's probably someone else. Oh, that's fine. But yeah, thank you for being my friend on TikTok. Yeah, I do a lot of I do try. I've been so lazy. Life has been life for me in the last couple of weeks. I've not had time for TikTok. I've not had time to come on live as much as I would have loved to. I've not had time to do drop in videos on my TikTok, and I think I've been more focused on my YouTube, trying to grow my YouTube channel to monetization and all that. So that's why I'm doing a lot of videos, and I'm asking people to watch my videos and like my videos and share my videos on YouTube. So yeah, my YouTube platform, it's very, very big in terms of the amount of subscribers I have, but I need the watch hours as well. So do want to go and watch those videos. I have interviews, real life interview questions and answers from band 2, band 3, band 4, band 5, band 6. And I think I've actually just recorded a video for a band 6 or band 5 midwife. I think it's a band 5, sorry, band 5 midwife, but I'm thinking I'm going to reshoot that video. I don't like how the video ended up coming together. So I'm going to reshoot that band 5 midwife. But in my trust, I don't have midwives. But this midwife questions and answer that I have was gotten from one of my clients that she sent me. What was the question that she was asked during our own interview. Hence the reason why I say real life questions and answer interviews. So you've given me the questions. I've gone ahead to go and look for answers and how best to answer the question, how best to make sure that you get at least 4s and 5s when you're answering those questions if you're a midwife and you want to hear about that. So yes, that is part of the things I do on my channel. So please do well to support me on that. So the next, I think I should do this first. So I'm flipping back to the scoring criteria now. So sorry, I'm trying to charge my phone because I'm using my phone and oh Lord, sorry guys, because I'm using my phone and what's it called, talking, it's a lot. Okay, so the next possible score you can get is a 3, which is what I talked about before. In terms of, that means you actually met the criteria to perform a successful job performance. You've provided sufficient quality and quantity of evidence of competence to undertake the role. Answers are drawn from experience, demonstrate potential to develop into the role. So that's what I said to you in terms of let me move it closer a bit so you guys can see. In terms of how do you answer your questions during that interview? What are you saying? Is it ringing through in terms of bringing in your experience and all that? Another thing I say to my clients is ensuring that when you're answering those questions, you're bringing in the NHS values of compassion, care, and all that, saving lives. I can't remember all what the NHS values are at this point in time. But yeah, bringing them into the answers that you're getting. Oh, I wrote it down somewhere. If I can find my notebook. Yeah, sorry, I don't know where the notebook is at. So I wrote it down somewhere in terms of making sure that you're putting in the NHS values into the answers that you're giving, because they want to make sure that the person that they are bringing into that trust actually cares about the people that are going to be looking after, actually values the NHS, actually wants to make a difference in the NHS. So that's what they want to hear in your acceptable answers. And when you score a 4, that means your answer is more than acceptable. That means you've exceeded criteria for a successful job performance. You show that your answer supports competence with compelling details of experience. You are able to demonstrate past abilities at and beyond the required in person specification. Okay, another thing I say to my clients, I keep mentioning my clients because those are the people that I will kind of draw from and people that have been successful in interviews, is that make sure, oh, I've lost my train of thoughts. More than acceptable, yes. Make sure that you're using the person specification to prepare for your interview. They've already told you what they're requiring. If you're looking at the person specification, I think we're going to go through one of them here. If you're looking at the person specification, they've already told you what areas will be coming out in the interview. And it is just for you to prepare 4 or 5 questions based on those criteria in the person specification specifically to practice before you go for your interview. Practice, practice, practice. That is why it is always advisable for you to have a coach, for you to have someone that you're speaking to be able to help you structure your answer and hear your answers as well. I've done interview sessions with part of my clients that they've prepared for interviews, and we've started the coaching, and I would ask them a question and they will just tell me nonsense, and I'll write it down and I'll read it back to them that this is my question and this is what you said. By the time they listen to what they're saying, to the question I've asked, they're like, oh, I don't think I answered the question. I'm like, yeah, you did not answer the question. If I scored you, I would have scored you a 2. because you're telling me that that answer is less than acceptable from what I asked for. So ensuring that your answer hits the nail on the head. That's why practicing with a coach is the best thing. Practicing with someone that is knowledgeable about interviewing is the best thing for you when you're preparing for that interview. You might feel that it might be an initial outlay, an expensive outlay, but the benefits of you having a job, having having what's it called, a source of income is better than not having, or getting something better. If you might will be working in care, but you definitely know that your end goal is to work in the NHS, you don't really understand what the NHS interview is like. Hire a coach. That's why we come in to help you structure your answers, especially for someone that regularly sits on the interview panel, would be able to hear things and would be able to point things out for you quickly. That's, oh, you're not answering the question properly. And for you to get the 5, which is more than acceptable, that means you've significantly exceeded criteria for a successful job performance. You've provided large amounts of high quality evidence. You've demonstrated experience considerably beyond the level specified in the person's specification. That means you've gone above and beyond. That means you've not only just talked about it, you've given us reflection. You've given us star answer, detailed, deep dive star answer. Your answer to questions really should be about 2 minutes. Really, 2 minutes. It's what's at least 2 minutes when you're answering questions for NHS jobs. Oh, look at my baby's bookshelf. When you're answering jobs, questions for NHS jobs, or when you're answering interview questions, your answers really should be at least 2 minutes. So those are the 6 different scores that you can possibly get when you're interviewing. I did say I was going to spend about 30 minutes on here just to ensure that oh, I don't want to put my baby's bed on thing. Just to ensure that I I gave you guys a flavor of the kind of things I do and what to look out for when you're answering those questions. I think we did one where I talked about if all my windows are closed. I think I gave you one in terms of, I think we went into um what's it called? What a 3 answer is and what a 2 answer is. I'm trying to look for that video. I'm trying to look for that answer. That's not it. I'm just trying to look for like a sample answer, the difference between the different scoring that you can possibly get. Oh, okay. I don't think it's in this one. Sorry, I have like loads and loads of videos that's Lorraine, the grad program is a different kettle of fish. It's quite different from NHS job application, because I think with that one they do assessment centers as well. And I actually even think that is actually open at the moment. So you do what to go and apply for a year. With that one, I can try and help you. I wouldn't say I'm an expert in that, and I wouldn't want to charge people for something that I'm not an expert in, that I'm going to be learning with you as well. But in that kind of situation, I don't know how to help you in that situation. I can help you read your application in terms of looking at it. I can help you look at it, but for the grad program is a different kettle, is a different beast on its own. Is a different beast, because I think that one has to do with assessment centers. It has to do with different it's like applying for a role in the civil service. It has different success factors that you have to do with that one. So that's to do with the grad program. So like I said, I wouldn't want to say I'm an expert in that. I've never applied for a grad program. I've never applied for a grad program before. on for NHS jobs, but I do know that it's quite tough, and it only takes the grace of God for you to be able to scale through. It's not that you can't scale through, don't get me wrong about that, but you need to really understand the process. So what I would suggest for you, I think Lorraine, is for you to go on YouTube. I'm sure there's some people, or even on TikTok here, to find out if anyone has applied for a grad application for NHS, because that's an amazing way for you to scale up. You come from like a level 5, band 5. Before, by the end of the time you finish, you're going to be a band 8. I think it takes about 2 or 3 years for the grad program. By the time you finish in that grad program, I think you start from a band 5 or a band 4. By the time you finish, you are going to be a band 8. That's the good thing about the NHS grad program. It just levels you up. It puts you on a different playing field, than what's it called? Than just you doing and trugging along by yourself. Yeah. So yeah, that's with the grad program, Lauren. So yes, I wouldn't say I can help you. I can help you look at your application to just to make sure that the tenses and things that I would look for in when I'm shortlisting is there. But it's not my area of expertise, and I'm not going to lie to you and charge you for something that is not my area of expertise. I wouldn't charge you for that. I wouldn't say I can do it when I can't do it, and I wouldn't want to lie to you. So that's not my area of expertise, but I do wish you well. Do well to go and check on YouTube, check on different forums on online, to see how people have applied successfully. I'm sure if we Google it now, we'll probably find 1 or 2 people that have successfully applied for the grad scheme, excuse me, the NHS grad scheme, and they've been able to get in. So yeah, you can do that. User, this person, the person said, please, what's the best thing to do with track jobs? Oh, with track jobs, you just have to apply. You need to make sure that your application stands out. You need to make sure that everything in that application relates to that job that you're doing. I would always tell you to do like a CV, a perfect CV, or a perfect profile for your track jobs. If you have a perfect profile for your track jobs, that's the base of your track application. So when you're now applying for different jobs, you can then tweak it a bit and tailor it to each of the roles that you're applying for. So what I would suggest for you to do is make sure that you're filling in all the roles that you've done. Make sure that you're writing properly in good tenses and good sentences. Your supporting statement is top notch. What I say with the supporting statement is get the person specification, and in the person specification, they've asked you essential and desirable criteria for this role. Answer each one of those bullet points as concise as possible, detailed as possible. But you need to remember, if you're going through track, is 1,500 words. So you need to ensure that you are concise and you're explaining things as with so many with fewer words than necessary. That would track. But with NHS jobs, sometimes I think they give you like 5,000 words for each section. So you can have a lot more to play with. So that's the difference. So you need to ensure that your application stands out, your skills, your qualification, your trainings and all that. Make sure it relates to that job that you're doing. If you are saying timekeeping, if you've done like a training course on timekeeping, but you're applying for a band 5 or band 6 role, that doesn't have anything to do with that. You need to talk about your safeguarding, your adult and children safeguarding, that you've done that training on. So those are kind of key important trainings that you need to put in there. And I think you only get about 5 or 6 for you to add. So you need to actually be specific in terms of what would be relevant to that job role that you're applying for. And congratulations for passing your OSCE and having your PIN. It's not easy, and I'm so happy and so proud of you for doing so. So the next step is for you to start applying for roles in the NHS. NHS jobs are always been out there, and with now that there is kind of a recruitment freeze for a lot of trusts, they are quite selective. So it is the buyer's market now. Is it the seller? The buyer's market, yeah. The NHS is the buyer. So it's the buyer's market now. So we're able to be more picky, more Yeah, we don't want you. We'll put out the job advert again. We are more selective in terms of the people that we're getting into the roles. So you need to make sure that your application stands out. Your interview, you've practiced using the job description and especially the person specification. That's what you need. You're practicing in front of the mirror. You've gotten some questions. You've gone to ChatGPT to give you some questions that you feel that might come out. You're practicing with someone. Just you having ChatGPT, it's good, yes. But I would always say that you also need a coach, or you need someone that that understand the scoring system to know how you answer that question properly. So yes, that's what I would say to you. Oh, Lorraine, you're welcome. Yeah. Is this for nurses? This scoring criteria that I showed you guys is not just for nurses, it's for administrators, for even HR roles that I apply for, from band 2s to band 9s. We use the scoring metrics for everybody. It is the NHS. The NHS, well, is it, would I say lazy, or we're uniform? I think that's the right word to use. We're uniform in how we do things. We have an overarching policy. The AFC handbook is our overarching policy, and everything that we do, policies that each organization has, stems from that handbook. So same as recruitment as well. We use the same policies where we all recruit through track, we all recruit through NHS job, because we are uniform. It's one big house that has little rooms in there. That's how I'm going to describe the NHS for you. So, in that situation, make sure that when you're applying for jobs, you are applying properly. It's a recruitment freeze. If you hear about NHS England now, they are cutting about 50% of their staff in NHS England. With loads of teams as well, they are cutting down a lot of teams. So you need to ensure that your application stands out, your interview, yeah, acing it, you're getting those 4s and 5s. Make sure that you do have a coach as well to help you structure and streamline your thinking. Make sure that you have the star answer at the back of your mind when answering questions during interview. Not necessarily for the supporting information, because you wouldn't have enough time or enough words to be able to write star answers in the supporting statement, unless they've asked you as additional questions. Then you may be able to be given like a free space to just write. In that situation, you can write star answers. Unlike the civil service, where I think each of those sections, they probably give you like 500 words or 600 words to kind of fill in those sections. Civil service jobs, yes, you can do star answers for your applications. And I think one of my friends on TikTok here that I met, Most Analytics, it does wonderful instructions on civil service. So look for him on TikTok. Is always quite present. It does post quite a lot. So he's an expert. It does help people with securing their roles in the civil service. So with the NHS, I've worked in the NHS for more than 10 years now. So I have the understanding. I've done different roles from recruitment to employee relations and all that. So I have that background in the NHS sector. So that's why I only talk about the NHS. I hope that answers your question, Liz. And thank you so much for all the hearts and all the gifts that you're giving me and all that. I really do appreciate it a lot. Thank you, everybody. Do recruiter really mean it when they tell you that someone beat you on to the job by a point? Unfortunately, it's true. That is true, because like I showed you those scores, we score people on different from 5 to 0. So if you all got for example, if you and it was between you and someone, and you both got each of those questions, yes, potential. Most times we only ask, okay, I'm rambling now. Most times we only ask about 6 questions, really, 5 6 questions during interviews. If we do 5, that's over 25. And if we do 6, that's over 30. So if you and somebody have scored 25 over 30 each, so that's if we've gone 6 questions, and you both have 25 over 30 each, then we'll now go back to probably the first question to ask, which is always tell us about yourself. Which is why that question is one of the most important questions, even though sometimes we don't really score that answer. We'll now go back to that question and look at it. We'll now start analyzing each of your answers again. Especially if the answer or the is so close, we'll now start analyzing it. Okay, This person did not mention this. This person mentioned that. This person did not mention this. This person did not mention that. So we now start analyzing both answers together and both interview score sheets together in that way. It is true. Um, and it is true to what's it called, for two people to get nearly the same, and it's just going to be either half points or even by one full point. That might be the difference between you securing that job or the other person securing that job. So I would always tell you to always answer questions properly, and always at the end of the question, that once you finish answering that question, say, is there anything I've missed? Do you feel as if I should say anything else, or have I answered the question properly for you? Always ask them back that question. To just say, oh, they might be like, oh yeah, could you elaborate more? Because sometimes I do like people when they ask me that. I'm like, yeah, could you elaborate more on this? You haven't answered the B part properly. Do you want to elaborate on more on that? Yeah. So I would tend to ask people that when they do ask me. Oh, Trisha, I think we met on Saturday. I think you might be the one I met on Saturday. It's still the same thing that we went through on Saturday that we're going through again today, but more in depth in terms of explaining things to people a bit more. I'm so sorry. It's A_T. You filled about 5 interview with different trusts, all by a point, which I think is interesting. That is very disheartening. I know it's always so sad when you're like number two, and it's always, oh, I really feel for you. I think you need to go back and look at how you're answering that question again. I think you need to ensure that you're structuring those answers properly, and always asking them further questions after each answer to say, have I answered it properly? Is there anything that you would like me to expatiate on more for you to trust that I'm the right candidate for this job? And at the end of the job, just at the end of the interview, just tell them how much interested you are about the job, how much you know about the trust. That does help us to say, okay, this person has actually gone to research about us. This person has actually gone to check out what the trust is about and all that, to say, oh yeah, it's um it's a place that they want to come in, it's the place that they want to go into. So yeah, we should definitely look to talk. A_T. I think you will probably need a coach if you failed about 5 interviews, or you've not been successful in 5 interviews. I need to hear what you're saying, but that would be good if you're part of my coaching candidates, or how do I say, if you're part of my cohorts that I do help with coaching for interviews. Yeah, but it's a good thing that you're actually securing those interviews. That means your application is strong, your supporting statement is strong for you to be shortlisted for interview. So that's good on you. That is the first step. The next step, which is another important step, is acing that interview. And that's where a lot of people fall short of. So we've looked at the different criteria from 0 to 5. How do you differentiate yourself from a 5 to a 3? That is what you need to be able to move into. If it's just 1 point, that's quite disheartening. I can't even imagine how. Yeah. Itoan, you've asked, I'm not sure if you're still here, Itoan. You've asked, how do you write the supporting statement? So I've done videos on my YouTube channel. I would suggest that I keep pulling my wig. I would suggest that you go on my YouTube channel to watch my supporting statement information pack, where I explain how to write the perfect supporting statement. But I'm going to give you a brief explanation of how to write the perfect supporting statements. Writing the perfect supporting statement really boils down to you looking at the person specification. That is it. You need to answer each of those essential criteria and each of the of the desirable as well. So what I tell my clients to do is always group them out. It's so much easier. I think maybe because of the way I love to see people supporting information in when I'm shortlisting, is when you group it one by one. I don't have to start doing scavenger on to look for the answer in your supporting statement. Grouping it education and qualification, skills and knowledge, personal attributes, how whatever we kind of put in the job description, in the person specification. If you're answering it that way, it does help when we are scoring, because each of those bullet points are scored when we are shortlisting. So writing the perfect supporting statements, it's essential. Use the person specification to highlight what you're going to be saying in your supporting statement. They've already told you which one is essential. Focus more on the essential criteria and the desirable ones. Write, you can write like one line about them and just make sure that it's clear and concise. Using good grammar, spell checking your work is important as well. I know a lot of people say ChatGPT, use ChatGPT to write it, but a lot of organizations have softwares to detect the use of AI writing supporting statement. With that, some of them just disqualify you immediately. Like I trust, we use AI detection to check supporting statements to make sure that it's been written it's been written by a human. And this is because we get a lot of applications. Unless that trust has specifically said to you that you can use I would suggest just stay away from it. Maybe when you've written it out, you can then use AI to kind of refine it and make it a bit concise, but still make sure that it is at least 90% your work that you've written in that supporting information. I'm going through this thing. Yeah. Oh yeah, like I said, Trisha, the STAR method is the situation, the task, the actions, and the result, and also your reflection. Thank you for putting the extra R there. And the reflection. The reflection is always amazing for you to always put in. It's always amazing for you to put it into your what's it called? Into your answers when you're saying it during the interview. So yeah, at least you're reflective. And that's what we do in the NHS. There's a lot of reflective practice that we tend to do to ensure, that we are learning from our mistakes. We are learning from situation that has happened to us. So do you use one scenario or multiple? Depending on what they've asked. I would always stick to one scenario. If you have a structured answer, that will be able to be enough for you to be able to stick to that one scenario. But when you're going for your interview, prepare at least two answers or two different scenarios that you can easily remember. And then you can then choose, depending on how they've structured the question, will determine which of your scenarios that you use to answer that question. Okay. I did say I was going to do 30 minutes because I need to go and see my son. Do you provide one-to-one guidance? Adeshawa, yes, I provide one-to-one guidance for people. I try to comment. I'm going to put my email address here. I do try to pin it. This is my email address. You can contact me on TikTok as well. Contact me on TikTok. If anybody knows how to pin a comment, I've pinned my email address, but I'm sure it kind of goes for some weird reason. It goes. So I've pinned my email address. If you want to contact me for one-to-one help, please reach out to me on my email. Send the email now so I can see it, and I'll contact you either tonight or tomorrow to kind of have that first introductory call to see if we can work together. Yeah. I'm just going through all my questions. I'm going to leave soon. I'm sorry, guys. Yes, Aditya, I've answered your question and I've pinned my email address. If you can't see it, check email, message me on here. Just send me a message and I'll respond to accept it. Then we can then start talking and you can send me your number and all that. Yes, so I do help people with one-to-one coaching. Her Royal Highness, how are the questions for the interview? NHS, any written? Depends. With the NHS, in most cases, it's only one stage of interview or one interview day that we do. And that interview day, it can consist of different things. So there might be a test, there might be some practical things you want to do, and there might be a scenario based, there might be presentation, but everything will be done in one day. In most cases, we don't tend to do 2 days or how many different rounds of interviews, depending on the level. Actually, tell a lie. When we are interviewing for like the band nines and the directors, we do like a whole day kind of session. So they go from different points to different points, and they might have like 3 different things before they end up doing the panel. So they might have like stakeholders and they will speak to different people. That is a whole production for like the band nines. But between band twos to band sevens, and even some band eights, really, depending on what they want to do, there might be scenario thing, there might be presentation. Like the interview we're having next week, was it Wednesday? On the first? We're having an interview in my trust. I'm going to be on the panel on the first. I'm not even sure what date. Yeah, it's a Wednesday or Thursday because those are the days I go into work. Either Wednesday or Thursday. I'm not sure what date the first falls on. um that's when the interview day is, and that interview day there's a presentation, a 20 minutes presentation that the person we've given the person, the people that are coming for the interview, the question for the presentation. So the presentation is going to be first, then the panel interview will be after that. So that will be scenario based question, and for that interview we're having, I think, about 7 questions for that post, because it's an 8B role. So we're having 7 questions plus the presentation that the person is going to be doing. Another thing that I've started doing for the band six and the band fives is testing. So we're going to test you how you read the blood pressure, because like I said to you, we had a nurse that didn't know how to read the blood pressure manual and doing it wrongly, even doing that. Oh no. So since then, I've already told all the managers, we're not having anybody here that cannot read ECG, cannot do blood pressure, cannot do catheter removal, and all those kind of stuff that would be pertaining to their role, depending on the role that they're doing, understanding reading scripts, reading drugs, and all that kind of thing. So they'll be testing with every interviews that I'm doing, that I'm involved with now in my trust, because I need to make sure that people that are going to be working in our trust are capable to be able to look after our patients the best. Okay. I hope that's answered your question, Our Royal Highness. I love that name actually. Mm, sorry, I don't know what that is. Itohan asks, on average, how many people are shortlisted for interview? Depends on how many people have applied for the role, and depends on what role it is. So when we apply, when we try to recruit for band threes, we get loads and loads of applications. I think before, sometimes we get at least more than 50. After 50, we always tell them to close up the application. We tell them that's the cutoff mark. There was one time when I was doing a recruitment day, I had to shortlist 200 and something, over 200 and something people, and it took us over 2 weeks, and because of that we've had to move the date of the open day because of the level of people that applied for that role. Over 200 applicants applied for that role, and we shortlisted, I think, about 60 people. It was an open day, so we needed a lot of people, yes, but we shortlisted about 60 people. This role that we're doing the interview for, the band 8B role, there were 12 people that applied, and we've shortlisted only 4 people. Another role that I did, what's it called? There was a band 7 role that I was on the panel for. We shortlisted about, there was about 20, I can't remember them right, 20 something applicants, and we shortlisted about only 4 people, and 3 people turned up for that interview. Yes, if I'm correct. There was another one that we shortlisted about 6 people as well. So really, depending on how many people meet the criteria of what the recruiting manager wants, would determine how many people are shortlisted for the role. Yeah. So really depends. There's no right or wrong answer. Oh yeah, do stay. Yeah, let me know, 80 A_T. Let me know when you get shortlisted for another role, and let's work together. It might be the difference between you securing that role. Maybe you're not just saying the right. There's some maybe little mistakes you're making, and I'll be able to spot them and be able to correct you to ensure that you do get your role. Yeah. Yeah, Trisha, I knew you were here last on Saturday, and thank you for coming back again. I hope it was valuable, the information that I gave out on Saturday. It's still kind of the same, but now we're talking more and just sharing more in terms of what's the do's and don'ts, and people are just asking more questions in this live session. But it was the same scoring metrics that I went through, from the 0 to the 5 scoring metrics that I went through on Saturday, that I'm going through again today. Yeah, but you haven't joined late. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah. Yeah. It's all right. You asked subheadings are fine for supporting statement. Yeah, yeah, they are. I think it just, I love saying it. when I shortlist, it's just so much easier for me to shortlist that way. And I do tend to actually fall in love with you more because, oh, I'm like, God, oh, thank you. You made my life a bit easier when shortlisting, because sometimes shortlisting can be boring because you're there sitting at your computer, reading people's applications, scoring, and you're using your mouse, click, 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 and you're just trying to read and trying to, especially when you have to start doing scavenger hunt for answers, especially when we're shortlisting, when we're marking the supporting information section. It's just like we're doing scavenger hunt. Let's go. So I love when I just see people have subheaded the whole thing from how it has been written in the person specification. If you just subhead it for me, it's just chef kiss. It's just so much easier. I love seeing those applications, and I gladly read those applications. It's just spell things out a bit better. And I've realized that I do tend to shortlist those people more, truthfully, because sometimes I get tired of reading the whole application because it's just like scavenger hunt. What are you trying to say? Give it to me straight with my subheadings. Yeah. Um, Our Royal Highness asks, when you talk about yourself, how do you respond? When you talk about yourself, you need to bring it back to the role. How do you fit into that role? That's what we really want to hear in that one, in that situation. Then you can give a little bit of snippet as to what attracted you or what made you fall in love with that role, or why you are applying for that role. That's what we really want to hear. It's a rounded history about yourself. You can give a history of how you looked after, especially if you're going for nursing roles, how you looked after your grandma, or how you looked after your sister, or how you looked after your children, and realize that you have this caring nature, you have this warmth in yourself, you have this call to service for people. So bringing it down, always bringing in the NHS ethos as well, bringing in the trust values when you're answering, tell us about yourself. You'll be surprised how that actually resonates with the interviewers, as okay, this person actually understands what we're about. So if it's a trust that talks about they are caring or they listen, talk about, tell us about yourself, how you listen, how you're caring, how you're a well-rounded, how you're supportive. If you are bringing in the trust values into your answers, or tell us about yourself, or also bringing in the NHS value of caring, of looking after patients, of your service, it's an amazing answer. That kind of answers, I think there's been a couple of people that have said those kind of answers to me that way, and they will get 4.54 in that answer. So that already puts you above the hedge. In some cases, because of how the answers are being structured, or how the interview questions are being structured, we don't mark that question formally, but we then use that question as the determining factor when there are two people that have the same score, to see who do we give this job to. Because if you've told us about how you care, and the trust values is about caring, and the NHS values is about caring, of course we really want to see this person that cares about the staff, that cares about the patient, that cares about working within our trust, that has talked about our trust in their answer. We'll definitely want to give it the job. Yeah. I think my life is busy today. How do you know the questions beforehand? You don't necessarily know the questions beforehand, in the sense of 99% of the trust don't give out the questions. There are some that give out the questions before the interview. I interviewed, or when I was doing a different role, we were interviewing, or I was working with I worked in the recruitment team for recruiting people that had learning difficulties. So as a result of that, we sent the questions to them beforehand for them to prepare, because they're already struggling with learning difficulties. So that way they were prepared to answer the question. Everyone was given the question beforehand, and that puts everybody on the same level playing field. So in that situation, because they had learning disabilities, we wanted to make sure that they were prepared, they were not anxious, and because most of these people hadn't yet worked, so we had to look for ways around ensuring that they felt comfortable in getting their answers. But most times we don't send the questions beforehand. Maybe the only thing we'll probably send beforehand is if you need to prepare for a presentation, that we're going to give you presentation information on the day for you to write out and things like that. And questions really not much. How you can know the questions for the day is looking at the person specification. If you look at the person specification, They will have told you in each area where they're going to be asking those questions. So let me see. Let me see. I'm trying to I'm trying to let me see. Let me try and log into my track. I think I was trying to apply for a job the other day. Oh, I have to go into. I don't like this new track authentication nonsense that they do. They're going to have to send me the authentication passcode and all that nonsense. Okay, I'm just trying to go into track to show you, a Royal Highness, where they would how you would know how will you know what's it called, what the questions are to prepare beforehand is. Just waiting for that code to come through. Then we'll go into track quickly to see questions, how you would know. As usual, Adesua, people can't find my email address. If you go through all the messages, you see it's the human resources playbook at gmail.com. That's my email address. It's the I've tried to pin it. It doesn't let me pin for some weird reason. Pin this comment. It doesn't let me pin. I don't know why it doesn't let me pin. Uh, I don't know why it doesn't let me pin. Oh goodness, where is this? Where is this code? I'm trying to get this code. I need to get off. Oh, I'm in the wrong email. Oh Lord. Oh goodness. I can't bother with that one. So let me just try and get the let me try and get the code for you guys. I can hear my son. I need to leave soon. Just bear with me, guys. Let me just try and get the code to log into track. To log into track. Okay. I'm still here, guys. Sorry about that. Okay. I was trying to apply for this job the last time we were here. Oh, okay, it's trying to identify me because I've gone past the time I said I was going to be here. Let me get this. This is a band 3 role that we were trying to apply for, I think on Saturday. Is a senior healthcare assistant role for band 3. This one is closed now. Okay, so let's flip this thing again. Flip camera. Okay, so this is how you know what will be coming out, the assessment process for your interview. So they've told you that they're going to ask you questions around your personal skills and abilities. So they've already said it here: application form and interview. That's where the questions would come from. So personal skills and abilities. So you need to prepare to answer questions around this side, around things to do with the ability to undertake statutory and mandatory training. They would ask you about communication skills, how you've been able to communicate effectively with team members and all that. They would ask you questions around that. So you know to prepare for things around that. They would also ask you about your professional and managerial specialist knowledge. They've said it here. They will see it in your application form, your assessment. So what they are telling me in this for this one is that there might be an assessment during that interview for you to do before or after you finish your speaking interview. And they've said they're also going to interview you. So questions around your knowledge of mental health and learning. There would be questions around how mental health has impacts on motivations, your social skills, knowledge and understanding of risk assessment, knowledge and understanding of the care pathways approach. So those are the kind of places Lord, sorry about that. That's my work laptop. Okay, now just trying to bring back the thing. Just went away for a minute. And in terms of your knowledge and application, length and nature of experience. So they've already told you where those questions will be coming from. So you need to just be prepared to answer questions from there. Um, so yeah, okay. I'm squatting in my daughter's room, so so that's where those ones would be. I'm just trying to make sure I go through this quickly because I need to jump off, guys. I need to jump off because I need to go and get my son ready for bed. Um, I've overspent my time. Um, I'm just trying to make sure I don't go through. Yeah, Adeshewa, I hope you've seen my email address. Is the Human Resources Playbook. If you go through the comments, you should find it somewhere there. The Human Resources Playbook at gmail.com. Email, send me a message here as well. I would pick it up. Yeah. Trisha asks, do you talk about the same example on your supporting statement at the interview or different? You can mix it up. You can expatiate more because, like I said to you, in your supporting statement, you wouldn't have been able to explain more. So you can then go deeper from a supporting statement. That is why when I help people with the application, I will always want both of us to write the supporting statement together. I can write it for you, yes, but I want us to write it together. So when you're at the interview, because we can sometimes bring it up. We will have your application with us and we can bring it up. So when we're looking at your supporting statement, or we can ask you a question about it. And if you don't know what to write, I will definitely know, oh yeah, someone has written this for this person. I think I said on Saturday where the person that got the supporting statement, the application was perfect. So we were shocked, we were flabbergasted as to how that person could not answer one question right during that interview. And it was now, I think on Saturday, that I was now thinking in retrospect, somebody might have written this application form for this person, and this person did not go and read it or even really read about the job that they are coming to apply for. I don't know if she thought we were really desperate and we're not going to listen, or we'll just give her the job because she works in somewhere similar or in a higher security place than we are currently working and all that. So maybe that's why she thought she was going to get the job. But yeah, it wasn't going to work that way. But yeah, you can always expatiate better or deeper going further in your explanation that you put in the supporting information, to expatiate and to bring it out more and to let the interviewers know that's okay. This is the further explanation of what I've written in my supporting statement. Or you can give them totally different answer and different scenario by ensuring that that star with the extra R at the end is totally genuine and totally fits into the question that had been asked. So that's why I said I always have at least 2 or 3 scenarios for each aspect of questions that you would be asked during an interview. ECG, yes. User 4519 is too long numbers for me to say. Yeah, the ECG, I think that's to do with stuff with checking your bloods or something. Not bloods, but it's something that you use in in the hospital for checking pressures or checking something. I really don't know, but that will be part of the testing. I don't know anything about it, but the recruiting manager is going to be the manager that is managing that team, and she would know the answer that she's expecting from when you do that test. So I don't really know. Yeah, for the ECG is for a band 6 role. For that role that we're recruiting for is a band 6. So they should be able to read, they should be able to know how to read that ECG, yes. How about those who are newly graduated? How do they successfully read? I don't know. Truthfully, I don't know anything much about the ECG. Depending on the role, whatever test you're being given will be role specific. It's not necessarily going to be the ECG. It will be role specific. So if you are going for a mental health role, they might ask you stuff to do with medication. They might ask you some stuff to do with pressures, or how to identify stuff. There might be separate scenario based questions. How would you It doesn't necessarily have to be the ECG. It will be role specific. They wouldn't give you something that you shouldn't be able to do for a test for your role. Your manager would definitely know the right thing to do or the right test to give you. I have a team's initial meeting where I have 3 minutes to explain why I'm suitable for. Yeah, I think depending on that, what I said, I think I've already answered this question. You need to align it with the trust. You need to align it with the NHS values. That is how you're suitable for that role. Read the job description and always try and your own put in your own answer to it to fit into that role. Yeah, here, Bobo. Mommy's coming. To try and fit into that role. So make sure that the answer you're giving, look at the job description, look at the person specification, and explain how you fit into that role. So you're using NHS values, you're using the trust values to answer that question of how you fit into working for that trust. I hope I've answered that question. I think I'm rushing now. Sorry. Bobo, sorry, baby. You're welcome. And oh goodness, sorry. I've been applying for administrative role and I do get interview. No over. I don't know what I'm saying wrong at the interview. I think it's the way you're structuring your answers really would if you're not structuring them properly. That's why I said make sure that you're using that STAR method to answer your question. If you're not being successful in your interviews, you're not probably answering their questions properly and you're not hitting those points. So ensure that you read the job description and the person specification to know what kind of questions that will be asked. Go on Glassdoor, go on YouTube. There are loads of people that have done different questions and answers for different roles. Also go put the job description into ChatGPT and tell ChatGPT, give me questions that might be asked based on this based on this job description. It will give you a question, but you still need someone for you to speak to be able to answer those questions properly. Yeah. So that's another one that you can do. No, you can always reach out to me. My email address is somewhere in these comments. I'm having to rush. Oh my goodness. You're welcome, Itoan. Thanks. Yeah, thanks for this subheading tip. I've thought about it. Oh yeah, you're welcome, the Pixinarian. You're welcome. Not really qualification, depending on what kind of roles. For each administrative role, they would have told you what qualification that they need for that role. So you would need to read the job description to know what qualifications they need for that role. I'm trying to rush. Sorry, guys. I really need to leave. My son needs to go to bed. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you for the hearts. I really appreciate it. Scenarios for sorry guys, scenarios is messing around with the tripod. Scenarios for the supporting statement, no, because you don't really have enough words to write scenarios for the you can write a very brief 4-line scenario, very briefly 4 lines for scenario answers in your supporting statement, but you wouldn't be able to go in depth into it properly. Yes, so try and make sure that your answers are concise and stay within the 1,500 words. If you don't even stay within the 1,500 words, you wouldn't be able to submit it. If you've written more, you wouldn't be able to submit your application. So you need to make sure that you're within your 1,500 words. ECG blood pressure, yeah, depending on what role that you're going for, will determine what test they give you. So that's why I said for like the band 6 roles that we're recruiting for in my trust, that ECG and blood pressures are part of the test that those people will be doing when they come for their interviews. Yeah, thanks. Thank you very much, Tricia, for explaining what it is. Yeah, that's what the ECG is used for. So the managers they've already printed out some ECG papers, and they'll give it to you to interpret it and tell them what you can see. Okay. Strengthening your application as an admin assistant, I think is explaining it properly and being concise, using the job description, using the person specification to answer that question. That's what you need really to strengthen it. So when when you're explaining each of the lines of the essential and desirable criteria from the person specification, you need to make sure that you're hitting the nail on the head. You need to ensure that how you've answered the questions, the person that is reading it can say, oh yeah, I understand what this person is trying to say. Let me see. Oh Lord, I'm trying to use, this is not an admin, this is not an admin one, but this is like the band 3 one I was looking at. So ability to use own initiative, that's one of the essential criteria. While working at my trust, I'm able to use my own initiative by going to request for documentation when I feel that the information that has been provided for me does not actually answer the question that has been asked. I reach out to the different stakeholders that I believe would be important or will be essential to contributing to the information that I need. I think that's using my own initiative, not just saying I use my own initiative by ensuring that I speak to people. You go above and beyond of what you've been asked. That is what using your own initiative is. Yeah. AOA, I would suggest that you reach out to me. My email address is let me write it again. Let me try and write it again. You didn't stop, baby. This is my email address. Sorry. The human resources playbook at gmail.com. It's not letting me pin it for some weird reason. But yeah, reach out to me, AOA, and I will see if we can work together. I don't take on everyone that comes to me. Some people feel as if I'm too expensive, but I'm telling you that this is from years of experience, over 10 years experience working in the NHS and sitting on different interview panels and all that. So you're not paying for my time, you're paying for my experience. Yeah. I do wish you all the best. I do wish you all the best in this in your application. But yeah, reach out to me. I will see if we can work together. Yeah. Thank you so much. Guys, I'm really sorry, but I need to go. My son, I'm sure you can hear him. I'm really sorry. You can hear him crying on my legs. At least it's better than pain. Oh yes. Oh yes. I do not cost anywhere near thousands. So rest assured I wouldn't charge you that much. But yeah. Oh, thank you so much. Oh my goodness, Tricia. Thank you. I appreciate it. Oh, you're now making me want to stay a bit more longer. But my son is really, he really needs to go. I know, darling. I know. Oh, thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it. I'm just gonna stay for 2 more minutes. But I hope this has been helpful. I will try and see if I can come back tomorrow to kind of answer more questions around the same time, I think, or by 7:30, 8 o'clock. I'll see if I can come back again tomorrow. If my young man lets me, I mean, lets me come back here. But yeah, please do well to like. Oh, thank you so much. And we've actually reached the 10K. Oh, thank you, Trisha. Really should be promoting this. Oh, thank you. What question did you ask? Way me yay. What question did you ask? Let me know before I leave. I'm about to leave. I'm really sorry I missed your question. What question did you ask? Just type it again quickly. Eden, give mommy 2 minutes. He really wants to sleep. Sorry. I really missed your question. I'm really sorry about that. I thought I've answered everyone. I was going through each one of them. What question was it? Way 3 Miye? What question what did you need me to respond to? Let me know quickly because I need to really leave. And I'm going through it again. Let me see if I've missed I'm sorry that I missed your question. I'm really sorry. I'm going through it. I can't find your question. If you can type it again, I'm still going through it. I'm trying to see if I can find it. I'm sorry that I missed it. I haven't seen it. Did you type it? Oh, thank you. Good night for the. Thank you so much. Did I respond? Types again. Okay. I'm just waiting for you. Way 3 Miye for your question. For people that's joining, I'm about to leave. I'm just waiting for Way 3 Miye to ask the question again, and I would leave. because I really need to attend to my little boy. Is he needs to go to bed. It's past his bedtime. Yeah. I'm so happy. Thank you. Please do well to follow me, guys, on TikTok, on on YouTube as well. It's the same name. I'm going to quickly put my email address here again. I don't know why it doesn't let me pin it. I don't know why it doesn't let me pin it. That's it. It's the human resources playbook at gmail.com. I'll try and come back tomorrow, Trisha. I'll try and really come back. AOA, I've sent you. Let me see. Can I reply AOA? Okay. AOA, I'm going to reply to you directly. This is my email address. I've sent it to you directly. Hopefully that you see that. I'll try and come back tomorrow, Trisha. I'm glad you guys have found this enlightening. I really do want to help people. I really do want to help people to secure their roles in the NHS. But I've learned over time, because I was doing it for free before. I've been told I need to start charging people, and I need to charge people for my time, because it does take a lot of time from me to be able to do this. Yeah. Like I said, I'll try and see if I come around 7, 8 o'clock. But once I come on live, you should get that ping. I'll really do try. Wayme 3A, I don't think you are going to ask your question. I really need to leave, like I said. If you send me a message directly into my DM, that would be good. But you guys can hear my little boy crying. He wants his mommy. Thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate it. Oh, thank you. Oh, I asked for you. Okay, let me reply to you. Okay, I will reply to you directly. This is my email address. I've sent it to you now. Send me an email. I'll see if we can work together. Okay? Send it to me. I'll see if we can work together. Thank you, everyone, for interacting with this live. I really, really do appreciate it. Please, please like my videos, comment, follow me, and I'll hope to see you guys soon. I'm like I said, I was streaming on 2 different platforms. So YouTube, I was streaming on YouTube, and I was also streaming on TikTok as well. So yes, thank you so much. I appreciate it. Oh, thank you thank you so much all for the gifts. Take. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the follows. I really appreciate it. I do not take your time for granted. Everyone has time. You could have been watching someone else's feed, but you came here to watch mine. So thank you so much for your time. And yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a good evening, everybody. Thank you, and bye-bye. Thank you. Bye. Bye, everyone.